You ready to film another exciting episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff?
I can't wait.
Gotta be more exciting for TV
I
show.
can't wait.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, real good doers of stuff. Welcome back to another preposterously exciting episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff. First of all, before we get started, I'm hearing rumors that some of you people have been watching my TV show without subscribing first. And as we've discussed before, there will be repercussions for such activities. So make sure you get down there and hit that button. It's real easy. And get subscribed and stuff so that you'll know what happens on this channel. It's real important. And also, merch is at HarrellEngine.com. We've restocked some of the stuff we were out of. So if you're looking to get some extra large, some of the sizes we were out of, it's back in stock. So anyhow, go buy tons of it so I can be a zillionaire one day. Anyhow, today we're going to talk about upgrading the performance of the old 2-runner here. And as some of you may have guessed, the bike rack and bike on the back of this deal is not just for reliable transportation, although it does serve that purpose if need be. And I'm probably the most amazing cyclist you have ever seen. Just unbelievably fast. You wouldn't even see me come by here if I were on the bike riding right now. But anyhow, I'm not riding right now. But we're using this for, this is basically, we're using it also as a performance enhancing device, right? And basically we're using it for weight to aid in our traction situation back here. We're on hard tires. We don't have sticky mickeys or nothing like that on here. So we're using this to help generate a little bit of percentage difference and give us some more downforce on the rear of this thing. And today I'm going to step that up a notch, and let's take a look at how we do that. All right, let's start by weighing some stuff here. Let's weigh this performance enhancing device and see where we're at with this thing. It's kind of heavy. This model is kind of heavy. All right, so that's basically, let's call it 30 pounds is what it weighs. And I just weighed this bike, and it weighs 28 pounds. This is not my racing bike. I have a racing bike if you want to get raced, but strangely enough, my racing bike does not make the 2-runner as fast as my non-racing bike. So, 28 pounds, 38 pounds, or 30 pounds. So that's a total of 58 pounds. Look at all these daggone shirts in here. People need them. You need it now. Real Good at Doing Stuff shirts, tuning shirts, HED shirts, big nasty cam shirts, there's all kinds of stuff. Polish and turd shirts down here. Anyhow, let's kind of take this thing apart on the bench. All right, workbench, bike rack. If you haven't figured out yet what I'm planning to do, I'm going to fill the mast of this thing, maybe this, we'll see, with lead. Now, I was going to try to pour it. The problem is there's a kind of a mechanism here that allows you to tilt this thing down and move this. There's 2 different levers. And if I pour it full of lead, that's not going to work. So, what I'm going to do is take it apart somehow and try to plug this off as best I can down here. Mostly plug it off with a piece of steel or a couple pieces of steel. Somehow weld something in there. I have to figure this out as I go. And a buddy of mine, Adam, supplied me with a whole bucket full of lead wheel weights. That way I can just pour them in here as individual pieces, kind of jam them down in there, and that should allow my mechanism to still work, right? At least that's the plan, but we got to make that happen somehow. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. I can feel it. Pretty sure we can pull this off. So anyhow, let's get some lead in the bike rack, take it apart and see what we got to do. Look at this. We got stuff like this in here, and I'm showing you guys how to put lead in the bike rack. But this is why you come to Real Good at Doing Stuff. There's no other challenge you've seen put lead in the bike rack. So here we go. All right, so I've got the, I guess, foot off of this thing, and you can see that there's this long pull rod, kind of flat, funky looking pull rod here that pulls this up and down so that this thing can be lowered or raised, and so you can open your hatch. Maybe you can see it there. There's a release up there on the other end, and you can pull this and lower it down so you can open the hatch. So I've got to figure out how to get a piece of steel, maybe a couple pieces of steel in here and weld them in somehow, and where this will still be able to actuate. So that looks like fun, but let's do it. Alright, so we got a piece of steel sort of kind of fitting in there. Now I'm going to grind some of that paint out of the way and try to get a welder up in there. That'll be kind of fun, but we'll see what we can do. So there's the bottom side in there. It's basically like welding a razor blade to a railroad tie. That little piece of steel I got is too thin for this, but it's what I got, so it's what's going in. It'll work. But anyhow, now I gotta make an overlap piece, which is basically the kind of mirror image of this, and weld it all together. All right, here's our top piece. Hopefully it won't allow any lead to fall through when we get finished or get welded up. And I put this piece back in so it's kind of where it's going to be. That should be able to just buzz this up and be about ready to pour lead in here. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but fortunately for you guys, I am real good at doing stuff, so we're just kind of winging it. This is the first bike rack that I've ever put lead in, so I'm kind of having to figure it out on the way here. Anyhow, let's weld this in and let's see what happens. All right, there it is. Kind of a trick to get down in there, but it's in there. The mechanism, I think, has plenty of movement. Shouldn't get in a bind or anything. I'm gonna put a little paint on it to keep it from rusting up and put her back together. All right, all back together. Think it all jives. Now for the fun part, we're gonna go ahead and see how much lead we can get in here. And then I'll weigh it again and we'll see how much progress we made. Okay, fun fact. Apparently, nowadays, lead wheel weights aren't lead. They're steel, or mostly. That's why it says FE on here. I assume for ferrum or ferrous or whatever. There was some lead in there. I kind of grabbed what I could, sifted that out, but the rest of it is steel, and I put it in there. I think I've added about, I weighed it again, I've added about 15 pounds so far. I'm going to drive it some, and I think it'll compact down in there. I think I'll be able to get more in there. And I'm also going to try to fill the top part at some point. I'm having trouble getting the tips or the ends off to get in there. But anyhow, lead ain't lead no more. All right, the bike rack Bandit. It's back together again, new and improved. So I think we got 15 pounds or so, some lead, some steel in here. I'm gonna drive some, and I'm sure that'll compact some. I could probably get some more in there. Maybe I can come up with enough lead at some point to swap it out and get it all full of lead. I'm also gonna try to get some in here if I can. Right now these are being stubborn and not want to come off. I don't know exactly what the hold up is here, but they won't come off. I'll get them off somehow. But anyhow, what we're doing here, you say, well, why on earth would you want to add weight to this thing? Well, not right now, but in the future, we're going to be at we're a power surplus, right? So anytime that you're in that situation, you got to add traction. And we are on hard tires here. It's only so much we got. Now, there's a kind of a pivot point here, like a seesaw, and the rear axle. So anything we add behind the rear axle is taking weight off the front. If you were to put this on scales, you would see the percentage change by putting weight back here, right? Because it's, 4 to 5 feet behind the center line of the rear axle. Now there's another factor here. That's kind of a static thing. There's a dynamic thing. We have high mounted weight that we've added, right? SUVs are kind of good for what we're trying to do because we have a lot of high mounted weight in the roof line up here. And when we launch, all this weight is pulling back and skinning, trying to pitch the truck back on the rear tire. That's good. So when we add weight up high back here, all the way in the back, this is basically prying up on this trailer hitch here and helping the situation in a different way. It's kind of hard to explain. It's the same but different. It doesn't do that until you're moving. You pull 1G, then now you've got this weight that is getting pulled back, right? And that's going to help our situation as well. But anyhow, I guess that's this little part of Real Good at Doing Stuff is real good at thinking about stuff. But that's enough for today. This air compressor runs all the time. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, merch, all these t-shirts and stuff are at HaroldEngine.com. That's enough. Whatever. Who cares? All right. Almost forgot to remind you guys, there's about 3,000 watts of pure rock and roll back here as well. That's aiding in our traction situation. So there's a lot going on here and it makes it work. People want me to do burnouts and stuff, and I can't do burnouts. Sorry. Maybe I can come up with a burnout tune or something, but right now it's not happening. Also, we got battery, VPS, 2 batteries. But anyhow, all this back here. No one assures me that there's never been a single drop of country music passed through these speakers. So it's all good.